Hey guys, everything new under the sun. Well, I thought this one was interesting. Just a short little article. This is about the Russian military, and you look at the strength of Russia, the bear, in the last days. And they are doing everything so that they can be still standing after economic collapse, after a war, etc. They are doing everything in their ability to make themselves completely self-sufficient with their military, with their internet. That's what they're doing here. They're preparing for World War III by creating giant war clouds. So this is, of course, the internet cloud. The Russian military is building a massive cloud which will serve as a backup internet in the event of war. The cloud will be ready in 2 years and will allow Russia to survive wartime, even if they are totally disconnected. This move is part of the country's ongoing modernization drive. The intent is for Russia to survive during a major war, because of course it's the U.S. who that created the internet originally. Now it would be hard for the U.S. to take down the internet, but there's all sorts of hacks and things you could do. So creating your own internet of sorts, your own way outside of the existing internet, is very smart, and I'm sure many other countries are doing it. But Russia is going a significant distance to separate themselves from the existing internet so they can keep going in the event of war. And so they see war coming. They see World War III coming, and they're preparing for it, basically. The war cloud will connect to the Russian military's vast internal network. Putin's top IT advisor, Herman Klimenko, had previously stated that during wartime the country could run on the military's pre-existing internal network called closed transfer segment. Technically, we are ready for any action now. It was first revealed the country was creating an independent internet at the end of last year. So they're preparing for something that's coming, something that is inevitable. I think a worldwide economic collapse really is the cause that catapults us into end-time Bible prophecy. And I think if a worldwide economic collapse happened, I think that would also take down the internet. That would take down internet providers, etc. If the economy collapsed, you would have power stations shutting down because there would be no one to pay for the power. So you have the going down of much of the internet around the world. So it makes sense that they would have their own war cloud in the making here. According to a new report, the country could run commercial traffic using its own internal network, aptly dubbed the war cloud. It is being built at a cost of 390 million rubles, or apparently $6 million, and it will rely on data centers all over the country, so dispersed. And the first one is purportedly already completed in the military's southern district. The creation of the first center increased Russian power and influence in the area as well. So they're going to start to control the internet. They can use this if they need to control the narrative, and they're going to be left standing with internet of their own, effectively, after a worldwide economic collapse, after an EMP blast, etc. I'm sure this war cloud is hardened against an electromagnetic pulse. The data centers working with this cloud are all made with Russian components. Until recently, many IT components in the military and civilian sectors were Western. That is starting to change. So Russia's doing its own thing and creating their own war cloud. So interesting news out of Russia as you look at the Russian bear coming alive in the last days, being self-sufficient, being prepared for anything, being prepared ultimately, I think, for economic collapse, which is, again, I've always said, if an economic collapse happens, that sets us up for the exact end-time prophecy scenario, because you have all the Western countries basically on their knees, collapsed and starving in Mad Max scenario. You have these other nations ruled by dictators or military rule, etc., ruled by propaganda and fear, like Russia is, for example, which are still standing. And that's why you see these countries like Russia noted in end-time Bible prophecy, whereas Western nations you do not see. And I think an economic collapse accounts for the removal of all Western countries, effectively, that would not be able to stand in an economic collapse scenario. And so you see the strength of Russia here, setting up their own war cloud. So I'll put the link in the description. It's just one more thing to be looking at, to be understanding the outcome of, and where its place in end-time Bible prophecy exists, and how it kind of adds to the existing amount of information about the general strength of Russia in the last days and how they could be left standing after any significant military confrontation or economic collapse. I'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. Quick one. And we'll see you guys in the next video.